Before I get on to some slides and do all this, most of the subjects maybe what are there in the slides have already been covered because the subject is so vast and most of us have done our research maybe from the net or from personal experiences. But before I really go on to talk about it, we've had varied experiences in this 6 months of mine in which I am with ProConnect, part of the Reddington Group, and we look after about 180 warehouses, ranging from, we have one of the biggest stockists and supply distribution for Mac, one of the high value products, right from the iPhones, right? It comes from Foxconn to us, it comes from China to us and all, and we are one of the biggest distributors, right from the manufacturer right up to the retail. We do a lot of warehousing. Our experience is so vast, right from Zepto to Samsung to iPhones to Mac, and you name it, Asian Paints, everything. We do the supply chain, and our portfolio is very, very hard. So you can imagine the challenges what we have across the country when we do it, especially when we handle all our Mac products. One of the biggest collaborator or coordinator or the helping hand which we have is sitting here with Vamsi and Srini there, Durang. They have networked 1,200 cameras across the country for us. From the last 6 months, like I said earlier also, we have put in a lot of requirements because you need to tell them what you want and how do you want your surveillance to be done. Okay, in this you will see first is the third called the detection. We have to enhance our detection and first of all make our predictive. This is what they did for us for enhancing our detection capability and the prediction, like I said earlier with a single example, we have really had gains and got back our products, especially in the iPhone pilferages to a large extent, and we have saved nearly 20 lakhs in the last 6 months. This is where we work together and say, okay, this is what I want. This is where I want my detection in. One of the small example is, I want my detection on my e-locks. Okay, we have approximately 400 to 500 e-locks on our high value systems. So the detection, the moment the e-lock gets open, a ping happens. So now the camera automatically converts. We have a security operations center based at Chennai, which has vast data walls like that. The moment the ping comes, it comes, we see who has opened it. Is he an authorized person or not? So that is how we work. So threat detection and then the automated response gets into place. Okay, this everybody has talked about. What is this thing? Everyone knows what ChatGPT is, what Gemini is, all that is there. Okay, but with this, in the generation, while the AI is being generated, it helps a lot in getting our security imperatives also in place, reducing the time response. And if you see the value of money which we have lost over our last time, our company has also lost a lot of money, not on cyber threats, but on pilferages and not getting this thing. He has spoken a lot about supply chain. Okay, he must have handled something. I handle 180 warehouses. And some warehouses are as large as 3 lakh square feet warehouses. And if you look at our Zepto warehouses, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare to handle a Zepto warehouse, but we've still managed it with the right combination of surveillance, threat detection, motion sensors, and our dock monitoring systems. We have integrated them to such a large extent that the pilferages are reduced to the minimum. One example was a crate which had about 10 headphones, marked well, docked well, moved into the empty thread boxes, but then the moment it moved into the empty case boxes, a ping again came that this was not supposed to have moved, and we got back our this thing. So that is where again we have integrated our systems and have gone. Okay, so what does the AI role do in this? Whenever it detects the threat and automates our security responses. This is where we do. We want to be proactive, not this thing. Till a few years back, or till even a year back, what we were doing was only crisis management. Whenever we lost a thing, we went back to our footages, which was just about a month or maybe 45 days old. And when we looked at those footages, which were about 45 days old, you can beat the system. A very intelligent warehouse manager will not show it on his books till 45 days. He will show it that I have a loss on the 46th day. And when we go back to our footages, he's not there. And you can't detect it. So that is where we now automate the system in a way with barcoding of each and every pallet which goes, each and every rack which goes. If something goes into the wrong rack, we get a ping and we start moving it. End of the day, when we correlate all our data, this is where we put things in place by the end of the day itself. So this is where. So finally, what we actually do is manage our database in a way, link it with our detection systems, and get the proper threat or something which is going wrong at the correct time. So that is where we do our predictive analysis. And I've already talked about the anomaly detection. We get the predictive analysis, and by and large, everybody knows about phishing and fraud prevention, which is very, very prevalent. All of you all have already spoken about. So what does AI really help us? It helps us in finally the real-time fraud monitoring. And we respond to it accordingly. And we have automated responses, this thing. Though in the defense, we have something called a quick reaction team, which gets connected and the team goes there. We've not yet worked on those systems in our country, but if you see in the Western world, especially in the US, in the movies also, the quick reaction teams with security get automated very fast. They have a team which comes in and catches you. Even they have the quick reaction team with the security, even in smaller stone. You go to Costco, you go to that, immediately when they detect a shoplifting taking place, the team comes to you, very politely comes, we need to check you. And all they do is, with their operation center, when they see something unusually, they also do something called behavioral analysis. When normal behavior is not there, for the customs, the moment you start looking from one camera, you look suspiciously to the other camera, then you look, when you see excessive head movement, in that these head movements get detected so fast that there is something wrong there. You will not find anyone in Singapore at the airport. But the moment such behavior is noticed, quietly somebody comes up to you or something, takes you to the corner, sir, we need to check you. That is all they do. You may not be doing that, but they are doing this behavior. So that is where we need to further and further evolve, have our databases, have our detection systems. Yes, the cameras are one of the major things. We are developing the cameras further and further. We are integrating it with IR sensors, even for night. In some gathering of mine, we were also talking about the fire systems, the cameras. I think we were talking about it. How can we do it? Even integrating it with the cameras. Though we have heat sensors, we have smoke sensors, all that, but even with the cameras, this thing. One of the major other problems which I have, though we have about 500 to 600 motion sensors. These motion sensors we mainly activate in our high value items where people should not have been there. The motion sensors get triggered. We just check out, the SOC has 3 dedicated people breaking the 2-hour cycle to see that there is some motion sensor taking place in my MacBook section. Then you just check it out, is it okay, is it not? In the night, we have motion sensors in our closed warehouses, which again gives, and the guards are activated at night with the motion sensors. Okay. So that also helps us. So it's an integration, it's work in progress, but it is happening and we need to do it. But what you need to do, like I said initially also, is get your databases in place, get what you need. You have a provider like Durang who's doing your work on AI, but you are the user on ground. You tell him that this is where he does not know me. Like you work in supply chain. You need to tell him what I want. He makes an algorithm accordingly and work. And it's a continuous process of developing the algorithm so that in future we go further and further, integrate our cameras, our motion sensors, our inventory management, our inventory locking systems, which we'll do. I'll talk about a little bit of your topic of warehouse management and how we can go more and more. The automated systems. You see the difference between the Amazon warehousing systems and the Amazon warehousing systems. I will show you a video how does Amazon warehouse systems in the West works. Though we know how ours is. Ours is a manual picking system and we still believe a lot on the manpower. And the more and more, especially in the short-term manpower picking, this is where things go wrong. The machine rarely goes wrong, and if it goes wrong, at least we get to know what has gone wrong. Yeah, I'll finish in 3 minutes. I'll just finish. There's not much. This is already, these applications are well known. We have to disinformation and defense applications. Facial recognition, everyone is aware. The airport security, it's become so good. Your DigiYatra is so facial. We are also working on the immigration systems. Let's start moving on it, because you know whoever is going to enter your warehouse, there is a big line in the morning doing all checking your iCard, this checking, your frisking and all. The moment you used to move to facial recognition, you don't lose your time. Immigration is well known. Okay, this is where you can do it in warehousing. Okay, forget about the security. Now let's get back to warehousing. Where is my domain? Okay, inventory optimization. In the Air Force, we have something called material management online system. We just hold an inventory on the rack for 1 month. So if you have a proper database, one item gets moved out of the rack, automatically the ping goes and this thing. There are no items moving out of the racks and there is a stock time, and so you automatically move out supply orders, movement orders accordingly with your database and just keep the minimum data. What I've realized in my warehouses, there are times when the stocks have been holding out for 6 months. I said, you're taking away my time. I'm paying 1,000 rupees a square yard per month for warehouse space, and my item is standing there for 6 months. Why am I paying for it? You get your database, you can optimize it, you can obviously increase your logistics efficiency, and you can have your supply chain predictions accordingly. Get your database management, do the tagging properly, getting your inventory correct, integrated it, get all the warehouses integrated, and do a proper inventory movement at the correct time. same thing which you can do with real-time monitoring of challenges. This has already been spoken about in detail, in which regulatory, bias mitigation, privacy concerns. The future is known. This is okay. This is what time difference. With the use of AI, especially in warehousing, we reduce our time where to a very large extent when we use AI, from 2 hours to about 30 minutes. This is a, how do I run this video?
Video.
Right.
It's a PDF file, so it has to have a.
Oh, I changed it. Okay, it's an automated. Okay. So I just wanted to show you how the robotics go from each rack to everyone, keeps picking it up, gets the right this thing. Automatically, if an item gets picked up from a rack, it goes into the database, which shelf is now empty, and when the new item comes, it automatically gets picked up by a robot and puts it into the correct shelf. In fact, Amazon does this to a large extent. Okay. This is a similar slide where we can utilize it to a large extent.
That is not in India, no? That's not India.
No, that is not India.
You showed India?
Huh?
You said you'll show India how the.
That I will not. It's still in the manual system. All our warehouses are still in the manual system. There are very few which have gone into only the aerospace sector and the car manufacturing sectors. They have gone. In fact, if you see the Mahindra plant, in which even the spare parts are all picked up automatically by robots and got onto a supply chain belt, and the spare parts also are then picked up by robots, fitted into the The only challenge, especially in India, is even if one nut in the whole supply chain gets not picked, or the stock goes away, the whole supply chain breaks down. So what we need to do is at least, but the database of such, in a day, if you have everything ready, you have, Tata's moves out a car every 10 minutes in the supply chain. And it is all robotics. There are only about, in the full assembly line, there are only about 8 to 10 people who are just monitoring the full assembly line, and it's all done with robotics and AI to get your finally on the line. Okay, ethical challenges, yes, we need to do. There's so much of misuse of it, of AI. You would have heard of voice modulation, checking you out where you are, seeing when your phone is absent, someone else calling up on your number, and misuse, money transactions, all that is also. But that is all being further and further and further. You need to beat the hacker, you need to beat the fraudster to develop systems where you can break and get from the synthetic data to the actual data, the synthetic voice to the actual voice, which you need to come in. So this is the future. What we actually need is to get together, talk to each other. In all the warehouse, what are the systems, what are the problems, how have they implemented the systems, like what you had said, we need to talk to each other, how have we implemented it, then get to companies like Durang and sit together for a comprehensive solution. We need to sit together. And if we have a database of how fraud can go on, like in the air, while I was working in the Air Force, like all the squadrons, if we have about 30 squadrons flying together, in the evening, wherever some component or something has malfunctioned, we put it onto a central database so that everybody knows that at this time, this stage, this component has given place, and we need to check that. So we have a database. Basically, it is the human which needs to put in the data. AI cannot get generated until the human is there, and he puts in the data and puts in all the variances which can come, the intangibles, the tangibles, the intangibles, all together to good and make out an algorithm with all these intangibles. If a chess player is there, who has put the movements in there? Because somebody over time has analyzed all the chess games and the probable moves, he's put it there. And now that so many moves are already there in the database, he puts in everything and wins the game for you. But there are times when if you have a good chess player, what I feel, he will still win over this thing. So we need to have the frameworks, and cross-sector collaboration is something which we need to do. We don't talk to each other. We have our own company secrecies. We don't have our own problems. We don't like to discuss our problems at all. Okay. We did that. We did a lot with all our problems with Durang. We still do have a lot of work to do with you. And in the next 3 months, I'm going to come up with a lot of solutions and a lot of initiatives with you. Thank you very much. This is more of my experiences and this thing. So I wanted to just share that with you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.